Thanks for tuning in, everyone. The Science of Enlightenment. Let's begin. In today's world, the majority of people still see science and spirituality as opposing practices. Most think that science is the absolute truth and proof of something's validity, whereas spirituality is more for the superstitious and religious. However, times are changing. Things are evolving quicker in our society at the moment than ever before. Science is constantly evolving. What we think we know now often radically changes as the years go by. With the brilliant works of people like Dr. Bruce Lipton, we're now seeing that there is indeed science behind spirituality. One of the first things you'll learn from quantum physics is that everything is one. You are comprised of energy, as is absolutely everything else within the universe, meaning everything is connected. One of the more advanced spiritual states you'll reach along your journey is an incredibly profound sense of oneness, feeling like you're totally connected to everything around you, as if the barrier between you and your surroundings has dissolved. It is immensely blissful and hard to describe. Remember that enlightenment is merely the art of finding peace, gaining knowledge, and hugely expanding your consciousness to see things in a broader light. It's the practice of overcoming fear and achieving a sense of heaven within. When you achieve incredible inner peace, your body is being flooded with a mix of chemicals called oxytocin and serotonin, providing you with that feeling of heaven and blissful joy. This becomes much easier to achieve when you're free from fear. Fear comes in many forms. I'm not just talking about the fear you feel from being chased by a lion, but several other things including insecurity, anger and jealousy. These are all fear-based emotions. It's been proven that consistent meditation makes your amygdala shrink and your prefrontal cortex expand, turning you into a calmer and more peaceful being, free from fear. In this state, you'll see everything in a much calmer setting, overcoming your old negative habits and ascending to new heights of mastery. It is true paradise. Forget about the word spirit and spirituality for a moment. For most, this word conjures up an image of the soul, a religious belief that only exists if you believe in it with blind faith and no physical evidence. But what if we renamed the spirit or soul for a moment and could even prove its existence? What is your consciousness? Many scientists are now saying that in the not too distant future, we'll be able to download our consciousness and even upload it to computers. Our soul and consciousness are ultimately one and the same. Your conscious light is having a temporary experience in your physical earthly shell. And when we die, it goes to a place where there are no physical limitations, a place we can't perceive while we're still here in our human vessel, though it would most likely be a place of boundless freedom with no human restraints, much like when you're having a vivid dream. Of course, this is all still speculation, but in many ways it makes sense. When you engage in certain spiritual practices like meditation, you are cultivating and connecting to the spirit, or if you prefer, expanding your consciousness. Again, they are essentially one and the same. Do you believe in your consciousness? If so, then you ultimately believe in the spirit. No religion involved, no superstition, you just have to readjust your perception on what the spirit is and see the evidence. The same way that if you believe life was created by an intelligent presence, you ultimately believe in God, just nothing like the mythologized way religion tells us to. Let's look at DNA for a moment. The blueprint of all life shows incredibly sophisticated design, clearly created by someone or something far more advanced than us. Just because we can't physically see a man creating DNA in a lab doesn't mean there aren't intelligent forces hard at work all around us, visible or otherwise. This force is clearly benevolent, as it's only aiding the introduction of new life. If you really want to get a glimpse into the bigger picture, spend a little time every day cultivating spiritual practice. The wisest person in the world will have a great knowledge of both science and spiritual concepts, an enlightened scientist. To know yourself is to know the universe. When you master your internal world, you'll really get a glimpse into what the universe can do. When you think a positive thought or feel a positive feeling, you are sending those signals out into the field and altering your reality. When you master yourself, you master your world. Spirituality and enlightenment are all about becoming your greatest version. And if you can in fact achieve this, that will have a hugely positive effect on the world around you. The greater the master you become, the more impact you have. A few years ago, when I was deep into my spiritual journey, I was in town for an audition. It just so happened that it was being held a couple of streets over from where an old friend of mine was working. We hadn't spoke for a while, and I had been wondering all morning whether I should get in touch or not. As I was walking down the street, just about to enter the building for my audition, a huge red bus drove past me showing a massive advertisement on the side for Coca-Cola. It displayed in gigantic white letters, "Grab a Coke with Max," the name of the friend I mentioned. I'd never seen that poster before in my life, and I never saw it again after that day. At the time I was a little freaked out and told myself it was just an odd coincidence, but this is just one example of how the world around you changes when you begin a journey of enlightenment. Me and several of my friends have had numerous surreal synchronicities just like the one I mentioned that we still talk about to this day. Open your mind to what is approaching. In the years to come, enlightenment and spirituality will be becoming more and more commonplace. With the abundance of new evidence coming forward, it's only a matter of time until it becomes mainstream. Meditation and hypnosis have already been proved to massively help overcome things like depression, anxiety, and PTSD. If it's for the best in our evolution, why not open our minds and see where it takes us? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.